JS is a weird language, and it has so many secrets and advanced tips. In this playlist, we are going to deep dive into every single one of them one by one. Let's see. You're welcome. A very impressive video about object.seal, object.freeze, and object prevent extensions. This is one of the most impressive videos I've ever recorded. Don't miss it. Okay, here we have a object, or its name user, and we can log it to the console and we can see what is happening here. Okay, if I run the code, I see the log which logs the user. I can add properties to user by, for example, adding user.x equals to 25, and for example I can log it again and I see x is added in here. Actually, let's name the x to the age, and here we are. Also, we can delete some properties using delete function in JavaScript. So we can say delete user dot for example name, and such as you see in here, we don't see the name anymore. So it's been removed or deleted. But we have two functions in JavaScript. They are very famous. One of them is object.seal and the other is object.freeze. What do they actually do? Object.seal actually doesn't let object to be modified in keys. For example, if we seal the user only can have name and company. Nothing else could be added or removed from the user. Let's see in the action. Okay, in here I say object.seal and I will use it on user object. So let me see the result. Okay, it throws an error which is saying that we cannot add user.age because the object is not extensible. We cannot add new properties. If we comment it and run it again, it says cannot delete property from name. Of course, the object is sealed. If we run it again, it's only logging the user with name and company. But what we can do now, we can actually modify the value of name and company. For example, we can say user.name equals to new name, and if we run it, we would see that the user object name is new name now. So when you use object.seal, you cannot add new properties, you cannot delete existing properties, but you can actually modify the value of the objects. But what about object.freeze? Object.freeze doesn't let you to do anything about the object, neither adding new property, neither deleting one, neither assigning new value to existing keys. Let's see the result. If we run, we see an error which says we cannot assign new value in here because property name in this object is freezed. Okay, so if you want the object completely unmodifiable, for example, we have a config in real scenarios. For example, language en and company, for example, codizoo _ir. We can freeze this config object so this never can be changed in keys or values. Okay, here we have another property called preventExtension. What does it do? Actually, I think this is doing something like the object.freeze. if you want to try it, you would see it doesn't allow you to change the name or delete a property or add a new property. But what if we have nested objects in here? For example, imagine we have a config, it has a language, and it has, for example, a region, which is another object here, and another property, for example, country, UL, and city, for example, West Shop, and we use object.freeze on it. Can we modify region in the object? Okay, let's see. config.region.city equals to new city. Is it possible? Oh yeah, it is definitely possible, and we changed the city to new city. But why is it happening? Object.freeze just freezes the object in the first level of keys. It doesn't do that in the nested object. It doesn't do it deeply. It just shallow freeze the object. If you want the object to be deep freezed, you definitely need to do it in a recursive mode when where you freeze every property in the object. For example, we have a function in here which is called deep freeze for each object. If the object exists and type of it is object and it is not null, we can call deep freeze on the object.keys and return the object.freeze the object. This would completely freeze the object, and even the nested objects is freezed, and we can use it in here. For example, instead of using object.freeze, I can use deep freeze in here to the config object, and now I won't be able to change the city value. And if we run it, we definitely see that we cannot do it because we freeze that object and its nested objects.